Folks, today on Sports Nation, LeBron and the Cavs make it even. Now they head back to Boston. What happens next, fellas?
And the beatdowns continue on the road now.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
It's so rad.
So, you know what? James Harden in the playoffs with the Rockets. What do you think about that?
I think that's too much. Whoever's saying that. Entire career, too much.
Wilder.
And
No!
and catch up.
You stupid.
Right now.
You stupid.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
So my man's with the horse.
Horse carriage.
Going
We go to
Taco Bell.
ride to the top.
That's crazy. Welcome to Sports Nation. Carrie Champion, Marcellus Wiley, Amin El Hassan.
Yo.
LZ is very sick.
Nah, LZ is really selling it.
For it.
Yeah. 2 days in a row after vacation, stop it.
Hey, and boss man in the building, too. I saw Kevin Wilds walking around.
Shout out to Kevin Wilds. Where is LZ? Uh-oh, big trouble. Meanwhile, let's get it started. We're going places. Presented by Toyota.
All right.
So game 4, LeBron with 44. Cavs even the series against the Celtics. Now the series heads back to Boston. Earlier on First Take, Stephen A. talked about who has the advantage. Let's listen.
I think Boston still has an advantage, and here's why. When you look at the Boston Celtics, the fact that they came back and they played competitively, I look at them and I say, all right, if they go back and play in Boston the way that they play in Boston, you got games 5 and 7 in Boston Garden because they're not going to lose if they play the way we've been seeing them play at home. But I think it's going to take a Herculean effort from LeBron James and contributions from others. Everything has to fall in line in Game 5. They're under pressure to do this. They do not want a Game 7 in Boston.
Okay. They don't want a Game 7 in Boston. I mean, we talked about this. We touched on this yesterday. I said all season long, LeBron was like, no, it's no big deal if we're number 1 seed or not. I don't need to be. You said you think they needed to be a number 1 seed because they'd be a better team, not so much about home court advantage.
Right.
So do you agree with what Stephen A. is saying?
This is the second straight day we had a take that is so counterintuitive. Yesterday was Mike D'Antoni, the pressures on the Warriors. What you talking about? And now Stephen A. saying that the Celtics are basically in the driver's seat. Absolutely not. Because what's happened now in these last 2 games, whatever confidence they had, it was all good just a week ago. If you want to use another Jason line. Now it's like, oh boy, there comes that monster now. He's got momentum. They're going into Game 5. Pressure's on them. They're a young team. They haven't been in this situation before. Even the guys who technically have been here before.
At home in the playoffs.
1-6 on the road. That tells you a team that is not mentally strong enough to be consistent, right? So if you talk about location was the only thing between feast and famine for them.
Okay.
And now they're going back home where you should feel better, but pressure's on because now you know the winner of Game 5, you're in the control of this series because Game 6 you can close it out, but Game 6 is on the road. LeBron James, Kyle Korver, all these guys, Kevin Love, they've been here before at the highest stakes against the best team ever.
I'll take it one level. Okay, so then who wins 5 and 6? How do you predict that?
Well, look. Stephen A. is using simple math, and I don't blame him. He's an old person. And, you know, old people, they always use that old, simple, basic math, but the game is not played on a calculator. Guess what?
Where's it played?
Mental mojo right now. And the mental mojo right now is all in Cleveland's favor. He's talked about it. Guys who have been there before, played at high levels, and now feeling themselves.
The best team ever.
Right, and they played this Boston Celtics franchise last year when they were the number 1 seed, and they went out there and gentlemen sweep. That's what happened. So competitively, Stephen A., brother,
how many teams?
I'm here to tell you, man, this series is a wrap. I think it goes 7.
Okay.
But I have a question for you. We have more belief in that Boston will actually lose a game at home or Cleveland can win a game in Boston?
I don't think Boston's going to lose a game at home. I don't.
So that means you said that Boston's going to win.
It's a wrap. And I actually agree with Stephen A. because they have home court advantage. You're saying because they're young that they're not going to win.
I think home court advantage is a front-runner thing. Like,
what do you mean by that?
Because when they're up, when the series is tied, when it's 2-0, they're up, they're feeling good, it means something. But as the pressure rises, 1-6 on the road tells me that they don't play well when the pressure is on. And when is the pressure on? When you're away from home. You come at home, but it's a different kind of pressure now.
Yes, ma'am.
Does LeBron want to lose in the conference finals or in the NBA finals?
NBA finals, but he's going to lose.
How do you know that?
Because I'd rather get close and almost there than to be back here saying what could have been.
You telling me if it goes to 7, you taking them over LeBron James in Game 7?
Okay, so let me tell you something.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to agree that they do have the competitive edge. I'm not going to go that far, but I do think the Celtics
How old are
have
you?
competitive edge.
You got that simple math?
Simple 2. 1 plus 1 equal 2. You older than everybody. Don't you start. Big game James, folks. James Harden and the Rockets had the largest loss in franchise postseason history, and Big Oliver of Sports Illustrated writes that Harden's reputation hangs on his response to Steph Curry's ability to change the game in a matter of minutes. You know he rains threes. Take a look at this. We're going over Harden's playoff record. In 2015 Western Conference Finals, lost to Golden State, blown off the court by 35 in Game 3, and then obviously they lost in Game 5. 2016 first round against Golden State, Houston dropped Game 4 by 27 and lost an embarrassing Game 5. And then there was Harden's no-show in last year's Western Conference semis against the Spurs. He scored 10 points in Game 6 when they were eliminated. Meanwhile, let's just consider we were calling him the MVP last season as well, and he scored 10 points in Game 6. Do you believe, in fact, his reputation hangs in the balance during this series?
No, because he's a young man, and he's going to play a lot of years after this, and whatever failures he has here, he's got many more years to make up for it and win a championship or two, maybe.
Why?
Because he's not 35. He's like 28, 29. So
he ain't
he's in the prime
age.
He's not doing simple math. He's in the prime of his career, so he's still in a position to win championships down the line. And we all know everyone's memory gets erased as soon as you get that ring.
Yeah, you know, I hate arguments like this. It's a zero-sum argument, basically.
Is it?
And yeah, and look, I'm a fan. It really is. I'm a fan of the old NBA, where Magic Johnson, who went to 9 finals and won 5, lost 4. We never had a problem with, oh, you got there
because
but just came up short.
Early.
Okay, respect. But you got there and came up short. But now we have moved the goal line. We said now it's better not to get there than to actually get there and come up short. James Harden is now going to be criticized being in this moment when we're lauding young players like Donovan Mitchell as a rookie or Anthony Davis as a young superstar who don't even get to this level, but we're going to sit there in the offseason and say how great they are.
But does he not
Respect
deserve
James Harden.
criticism if they lose? Embarrassing.
Absolutely. But is this the thing that solidifies his legacy forever?
No.
But that's what that article was kind of insinuating.
Exactly.
That this is it, and if you don't do it now, they will call you a loser forever.
Yeah.
No,
Jerry West went like
he has a reputation. If we're saying that he is one of the best scorers that we've ever seen, if he is in fact that, he has to show up. He can't have 10 points in a Game 6 loss against the Spurs in the semis. That's not what he does, correct?
Jerry West was like 1-8, 1-9 in NBA Finals for his career. You know what his nickname was?
What?
Mr. Clutch.
The logo.
Clutch.
The logo.
Right. So
Kobe Bryant said, y'all shoot. Y'all shoot in the playoffs.
All right.
Yeah, man, like, look,
We forget these
everyone
things.
has these pitfalls, but you can overcome it if you win.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. So this story is apparently that we're getting ready to do next all about. This is a mean story.
Oh, my God.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Well, you ain't watching no soccer.
Received a red card for slapping an opposing player in the head, and then all of a sudden they both fall. On like, how does he get hurt? How does Ibrahimovic get hurt in this? What happened exactly? So, from my understanding, our producer says you think this is the best story of the day. The floor is yours. Why is that?
First of all, anytime we have an opportunity to talk about the biggest star to ever grace the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, get out of here.
Biggest star.
What?
Biggest star to ever grace. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The Zlatan, man.
As Zlatan. I don't know who. Yeah.
No, you mean Slauson? Is that what you trying to say? I ain't never heard no Zlatan. I heard of Slauson. I ain't heard no Zlatan. Go ahead.
This dude right here, he's so great. Regular flopping, not a lot. Yo, that's so easy. That's so elementary. Look what he does here. Slap the dude first. I'm going to slap the dude first and then flop. Look at the technique with the same synchronization.
No, the guy stepped on his foot, so he was in.
Oh, so you flopped with your head when he stepped on your foot?
You gotta grab my face.
You gotta grab my head. It hurt.
I'll tell you one thing. This is where the MLS falls behind regular football, as we like to call it, in the rest of the world.
Tell me.
What is this video replay mess that y'all got from the NBA and NFL, man? That's not what this life is about. Let these guys flop, and if the rep didn't catch it, well, damn, he didn't catch it. This man right here is an artist.
He went down and touched his foot because he hurt his foot. See, he smacked him, and he's like,
artist.
Oh, my foot.
Yeah, well, look, we all know we've been in that position before. The teacher doesn't catch the jokester. She catches the one who's laughing. So, you know what? I'm going to smack you and go down with you and let you figure that out.
All right.
So that actually pretty funny.
Speaking of a smack, coming up next, Jalen Rose said something that was pretty interesting. A little bit of a smack to Kyrie's feelings and the Celtics' postseason success. You don't want to miss this. What is this show?
It's called
SportsNation.
Oh, okay.
Smack you a mean. Yeah.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm a big old boss. I like it, though. Bad news, time for 3 cheers.
Oh, baseball?
No, Celtics Cavs.
Oh, well, look at us growing up.
Ref.
No.
Brand go down, everybody.
Well, that's not. Yeah.
Blame the brother, huh?
Yeah.
I bet they gonna blame the brother.
Yeah.
Look at
He got
Brad.
nervous. He was like, what? Wait, what happened?
He got them shiny shoes. He ain't
exactly.
standing up long. Look
Yeah,
at-
it's actually Brad going down. All right, 2 cheers for, thank you.
Oh,
Jaylen
bracelets.
Brown staying in Cleveland, folks. He misses this.
Everybody was missing dunks.
He had a nasty one later with the left hand.
Oh, yeah. And Jaylen Brown.
rebounded.
Jaylen Brown missed his.
Everybody did. You said that.
Yeah.
3 cheers. Here's best.
You get it done. I did. Who was the other guy? What's the guy's name?
3 cheers for Padres outfielder. Fran Mil Reyes.
I'm still talking about
Comes
Jaylen
up
Brown.
short, diving for the fly ball.
Your mama went with Fran Mill? Boy, that must be a special uncle in your life. Bro.
Yeah, pretty
Fran Mill.
Two of them.
What? Yeah. Francis and Miller. Miller.
Francis and Emil.
All right. Welcome
both.
back to Sports Nation. Get right to it with topics. Indispensable. Let's talk about this. The Celtics have been without Kyrie Irving since March when Irving underwent knee surgery. We know about that. Young Celtics have survived and advanced. They're not scratching and surviving. They're surviving and thriving. Now they have a chance to advance to the NBA Finals. Our friend Jalen Rose shared this take on how Kyrie is feeling as he watches his team from the bench. Let's listen.
I heard that.
If somebody says Kyrie Irving wants the Boston Celtics to win the championship without them, they're flat out lying to you.
Whoa, here we go.
What?
Here we go.
You think that he wants to see the Boston Celtics win the East and upset the Golden State Warriors?
You know, the champion is his hairline. Meanwhile,
That thing crispy, ain't it?
his hairline
He's my
is
hero.
always together. Is it not? Meanwhile, do you agree with him at all?
Look, I'm not here to put my thoughts in the head of another player, but if you are a star and you are thought of as irreplaceable, the last thing you want to do is see that, oh no, we replace you with Terry Rozier. Like, because then just how valuable are you? It's one of the reasons, by the way, that like a month ago or so on ESPN.com, we were asked to come up with trade scenarios for Kawhi Leonard. I said, if I'm Boston, I say Kawhi for Kawhi. Kyrie for Kawhi, what do y'all think? Because if I'm looking at what's happening right here, do I really need a point guard, or can I add another dude?
How dirty would that be?
But that's Danny. Hold on. How dirty is Danny?
Yeah, you
want to ask Isaiah how dirty Danny is?
Yeah.
Hi, Danny. Could you imagine? I'm sorry, you took me on this tangent. Could you imagine if, in fact, they did that trade?
Oh, then that's the team I think that could actually compete with the Warriors.
But why you sound so shocked? Like,
because you're right.
We're all guilty of this.
Right.
First law of nature is self-preservation. And guess what? You want to feel your worth when you're especially a franchise player. I've been there before. Like,
You've been there, right?
What
How's he feeling that way right now? How's he feeling that way right now?
No, only when somebody better than me. So, look, when I was in the pros, I used to root for Bruce Smith to get hurt a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a lot bit, but a little bit, Bruce. Like, so I could do that, buck that thing, and get that money. Highest paid player in charge of history, that guy. So, yeah, you got to root for him.
You have said on the show before that you were not that competitive and you weren't that
Oh, I'm not competitive, but I want my shine so I could go get mine. Yes, definitely.
You got to get paid.
You got to get paid. Yeah, come on, man. I ain't grow up talking about
So you
Super
think
Bowl.
Kyrie's sitting there like, hey.
No, Kyrie Irving is sitting there saying this. I hear a lot of noise about how this team can play well without me.
Sure.
So I want to make sure they go out there and do as well as they can, but stop short of playing well without me, because then he's on the
They
trade
win
block.
a championship without him,
Yeah, it's
then
a
he's
wrap.
absolutely irrelevant.
That's what was happening to Boogie
He's
Cousins in the
irrelevant.
playoffs. Remember them Boogie Cousins in the playoffs? Oh, one, you're injured, but two, they look better without you. No one wants to hear that.
No one wants to hear that. Now, let me ask you this. Do you really think Kyrie believes that anybody on that team is better than him?
No, it's not
that
about
they're better than
And
him.
does
chemistry.
They
Danny
need
even
him.
feel that? You
Right.
don't think Danny thinks they need him on that team?
Well, we're saying in the hypothetical, what Jalen was saying, if they win a championship,
asking.
if they win a championship, which they're not going to do, but if they did, in that hypothetical, then they don't need him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, they just
Every time you take
they beat the Warriors and the Cavs.
Yeah.
No, they don't need him.
Your vacations, which you've taken many of,
You don't
to
need-
Mexico,
No.
and every time you go, you know you're checking them ratings. Is Marcellus hosting better than me or not? You don't want this show to thrive without you.
Actually,
Yeah, I want LZ. I want it
no,
easier.
I got you beat on that.
LZ sitting at home right now.
Have you
like,
seen my
I hope
legs?
they mess
I ain't
up.
worried about you.
You ain't
I ain't
lying.
worried about you, dog. I'm moving on.
Cancel when I wasn't on.
Okay, everybody's built that way. We're all built that way.
Joel Embiid, the Joker. During the Celtics Cavs game last night, Joel Embiid tweeted out the following: "You're awful." Taking a shot at Aaron Baines. He goes, "Man bun in the NBA just to get dunked on." So I don't know if this is petty. I appreciate it. What do you think, Marcellus?
Look, I'm not all in on this one. And usually I love me some Joel Embiid, especially social media, Twitter, trolling, all that.
Twitter, too.
Yeah, that too. That's a new one. Here's the problem. Not only is he punching down at Aaron Baines, okay, we get it. Aaron Baines gets dunked on a lot. He only has a few responsibilities on his short list of things he can do in the NBA, and one of them is playing defense to the point where you're going to compromise yourself. But not only you punching down Embiid again, you're punching out of bounds. Bro, you're not even playing anymore.
Right.
Y'all out of the postseason, and I'm still hearing you talk noise about a guy. Yeah, you got him. You posterize him. But let that live instead of your conversation coming from a wild theme park, wherever he is.
See, my first reaction was, I'm here for the jokes. I don't care.
Right.
That's a great joke. Get it off. But then I started thinking about the source of the joke. Joel Embiid. If it was anyone else that tweeted it, anyone who was out of the playoffs, whatever, we would have laughed and kept it moving. But Joel Embiid, and I thought about Joel Embiid, where's the sense of the salt? Where's it coming from? And if you remember in the elimination game, Game 5, Joel Embiid had the layup to try and...
Oh, yeah.
And who was defending him on that play?
Good point. Couldn't get that. He didn't have a left hand one.
Right here. Who was the guy that stopped him? Who he knows he's clearly better than, but in that moment, he wasn't better than him, right? So basically, Embiid, since the end of this game, since this elimination, all he's been doing is what? Thinking about Aaron Baines.
Even at the water park? Everything he been doing
right here. Game's over. You know, he walking off the court. Celtics win. And what's he doing?
But you guys...
He's thinking about... Any minute now, the thought bubble going to come up. There it is. He's thinking about, damn, I can't believe that. But you know what? The season was over, Carrie. So he went, he said, I'm going Bahamas. I'm going to the water park. Let's go down the water slide. I'm going to relax.
Were you on the show saying you were applauding his pettiness when he refused to shake their hand?
Unwind a little bit. You know what he's thinking about down the water slide?
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about that. I can't believe he did that to me. And then he's watching the game last night. And he's watching Aaron Baines like, I can't believe it.
Time out for this. I want everybody's in trouble.
He's over there carb loading. I ain't dealing with that.
Meanwhile, I think you guys are, I don't know about this. Sometimes you're in on it, sometimes you're not. You got to be all in on him or not. I don't like how you guys are.
Nah, why you gonna box us in?
Context matters.
Context nothing. It does not matter.
Context matters.
Tweet something versus not shaking a hand.
He's at home, and the dude is not as good as you. Let it live.
Not even. Carrie, let me tell you right now.
Give it to me.
I'm here for the jokes, and he had a great joke, but guess what? I had a better joke.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
With the help of our producers.
Shark eats shark, man. Dog eats dog. That's what we're out here.
All right, so we got to take a break, folks. But the latest episode of Detail, available now on ESPN+.
Is he using this voice?
Yeah, because this is good.
Using this voice.
We're talking about the Kobe breaks it all down with Steph Curry's defense.
I can send him this way.
Spring League.
And it's James Harden the scrub.
Oh, no.
That's where they go at.
And we'll have a special tonight. Tuesday night baseball doubleheader. Indians take on Cubs, 7 Eastern. Are you guys watching this tonight?
No, but that's all right. I watched that one.
Now it's time for winners and losers. You'll watch the Dodgers. Yeah. Loser plaques, the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame in San Francisco, retired soccer champion.
Gary Busey.
That does not look
they did it wrong.
Wait a second. We have an update. We have an update. Apparently, the president of the Hall of Fame basically said
they did her wrong.
they're going to redo the plaque.
I bet.
Sends in a new photo.
Whoa, they blamed it on the photo?
What? First you want a photo. You already know.
This is strong in you, my man.
Woo. Man, that looked like a Walton.
They blamed it on the photo.
Apparently, this next
Nick Nolte in the Hall of Fame.
Powerful flight. And it's
48 hours, Nick Nolte.
Marcellus. A flight to the Netherlands had to make an emergency landing after a fight broke out because a passenger wouldn't stop passing gas.
Yeah.
Now, Marcellus, I know that you've been in that situation before, correct?
Yeah, the flight one was not as funny. I was blowing it up one time, and the flight attendants were talking trash about me, but not to me because they were scared. But it happened one time in our meeting room in San Diego. Oh, no. Leo Carson launched, and we had to evacuate, like, the room and everything, and Coach said, if y'all were in the real world, in IBM, you wouldn't pull this BS, so don't be doing that here in the NFL. Boy, we were crying, so yeah, I've been there before.
He's married with kids.
Yeah.
People love him.
Dutch oven.
Day two, too. She got used to it on day 2.